Everybody, this is Tim Shorts of Gothridge Manor, and I thought I would do an unboxing today. An unboxing is something you probably wouldn't expect me to do. It's the latest starter set by Wizards of the Coast, called Heroes of the Borderlands. There's been several unboxings going around lately. I've watched, I think, 2 or 3 of them, and I think my perspective of this is going to be kind of a comparison. I'm gonna go take a look at it, what my 10-year-old self when I first started gaming would think compared to what I think today and the usefulness of it. And just maybe go over some different aspects of it. First thing I have to say, guys, this thing's heavy. It's got some bulk to it. So this definitely feels very substantial inside. And one of the first things I guess I would go over, like my 10-year-old self seeing this picture, I definitely would have liked it. I mean, you've got some very cool stuff going on. You know, of course, you got the dragon. And I can't remember which one mentioned it. I think it was Bob the Builder or somebody like that mentioned it. Actually has the name up at the top, where the former starter set, one I really liked, did not have it on there. But seeing, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, that would immediately get my mind going. And so yeah, I definitely like the cover of this one. You know, it's got the image of, I guess, it's kind of like an homage to the old Keep on the Borderlands castle back there. Kind of reminds me of that. Dragons flying around. So that's pretty cool. And then on the back, it has an overall view of what's inside. I guess a cartoon of people playing it. This would not have interested me at all, but definitely, you know, checking out what's inside and seeing all the different components of it. The 10-year-old self appreciates that, but also I do like it. My adult self really does. I do like the picture on the front. I'm not a big fan of the stuff on the side. I don't know what the hell that is. It looks like a cat playing with butterflies with lilac or something around its neck. Yeah, definitely not for me. That's more like, what do they call it now these days? Cottage RPG or something like that. And then I think on this side you got oh, it's pretty nasty looking mimic, so I like that one. All right, so let's cut into this thing. As you can see, it's $50, which is about $30 more than the other ones. I think the other ones were $20 when they first came out. So you're gonna pay for more than that. Now, it looks like there's more in here compared to the other ones, but 10-year-old me would have had to keep going by. I mean, I know they say the cost of, you know, whatever, but this is even back then like a $20 box set. It was tough for me to purchase the, you know, the $5 and because back when I was first starting collecting them, I think the adventure modules were $5, Player's Handbook, Monster Manual were $12, and the DMG was $15. To get the stuff so we could play, basically me and my neighbor had to split things up. So he would get maybe the DMG, I would get the Player's Handbook, and so on and so forth. So that way we could have the game, because neither one of us could afford everything by ourselves. So, all right, let's take a rip into it. But as an adult me, I understand that this is, you know, seeing what's all going to be in it. It looks like it should be good value. We'll find out here. Plastics, and it was the last one. I bought this at Barnes and Nobles. It was the last one that they had. Let's see what I did underneath there. I can't get it. So people, I don't know how many they had to order to begin with, but they, I hurried up and grabbed it, and my God, you know, it's the only way I can get stuff, gaming stuff, that isn't bashed up, because I guarantee you, if I ordered this from Amazon or any other place, mail-wise, it would have came back jacked up. So, all right, now with the plastic off, let's open it up. And this is a pretty substantial box too. It's heavy. I'll edit this part out later. All right, there we go. I'm gonna put this, I'll just put it over here for now. All right, so the first thing, and I've heard about this, you know, I've seen the contents, but not a close-up of hand, just a peripheral kind of point of view from other people doing it. But I thought this was interesting. So they have a read me first quick start guide. So this helps you start out, because I know when we first started playing Dungeons and Dragons back in the day, we had no damn clue what was going on, trying to puzzle out these rules, because you got to have to remember, like these days, hit points, mana, you know, hit dice, that's all, it's common knowledge. It's you know, what do you call it? Ubiquitous. It's just out there. They're everywhere. It's in, you know, video. Back then there was none of that. There was no such thing as hit points. Nobody knew what hit points were. We didn't understand what those were. Armor class. What the hell is armor class? And just trying to figure out the rules that went around this new jargon we were learning. This little guide, I think, would do a very good job at helping you on, because it's telling you how to unpack the box. Number one, retrieve the booklets and maps. Stack the booklets and the folded poster maps in 2 piles outside the box. And then 2, punch out the tokens. Remove the cardboard tokens from the punched boards and sort them out by type. Set the player tokens aside and store all others in the tray organizer. 3, retrieve the class boards. Take the 4 level first through second level class boards. I think that's what it means. It says 1 and 2, so I'm assuming that's what it is. From the box and display them with the level, side 1, I guess, I see. So it's got, they have level 1 on one side and level 2 on the other. That's cool. Sorry for the coughing, guys. Still fighting a cold. There should be 1 for the cleric, fighter, rogue, and wizard. So they're keeping it simple. You know, one of my favorite things about doing new editions and everything is they keep it very basic. There isn't this, you know, the eventual glut that just invades. I mean, there's so many creatives out there, and everybody wants to have their input on it, and it's fantastic that does it, that they do it and that. But eventually, it just gets overwhelming, especially if you're coming late to the game. If you start at the beginning, like I said, there's, you know, basically the 4 classes, and you go. You come in 5 years later, and all of a sudden there's hundreds of classes and hundreds of spells, and so starting off with the 4 basic classes is always preferable. And then the number 4 is unwrap the cards, divide them by type, place the background cards and species cards near the class boards, and sort the rest into the tray. Shuffle any cards. And I can't remember who I was watching. I think it was Red Mage, I believe. And he brought up the fact that it starts reading more like a board game, which is interesting, because to set it up, it's almost a benefit to take that approach, especially for new players. If you know, quick start. A lot of people who are going to grab this, though, aren't going to be new. You know, not anymore, it doesn't seem. But to have that start is beneficial as an adult, and as if I was 10-year-old me in that. And then it has some information about an ongoing game, but we won't go into that one too much, because We're just opening as for what it is. And then up here in some, I guess, what do you want to call it, like bold text or highlighted text, rules glossary. If you come across a game term you don't know, see the rules glossary in the game guide, which is wonderful because that's part of it. Learning the lingo is always the first obstacle to overcome when you're trying any game or any profession. And then it lists all the contents, and there's definitely a lot of different contents, and for the Dungeon Master only, so that's kind of cool. And then in here, it goes into finer detail of each thing, which is, I think, a definite benefit. All right. Players guide. Here's one of my favorite things about starters guides. They have saddle, or what is it? Is this no saddles? Yeah, saddle stitched guides, and I love these ones because they're just so well done, and they're concise, and they have a lot of good information in these things. So it looks like this one for the player's guide, it goes into detail of all the cards you'll be getting. They give homage to the old B2, to keep on the Borderlands. I can't tell you guys how many of us played through that thing. I mean, that it was a rite of passage for everyone, because back then the limitations of obtaining modules was very, very limited, and there was hardly any third-party stuff. You might be able to find a Judges Guild booklet here and there, but even those were hard to come by. But it seemed like, because we would run each other through it. I mean, even though we were the dungeon master, then what would end up happening is we would grab our characters, and then the DM would run and become a player, and then a player would become a DM, and we'd run it through again because it was new and cool, and it was this new fascinating thing that we absolutely loved doing. But yeah, it looks like he goes through each element of what's in the equipment cards, spell cards, goes through the whole class board. I don't know what cornflower. Oh, cornflower is an NPC. Okay. All right. Got some cool monster cards. That's great. Just the one I'm seeing there, the Copper Dragon Wormling. I like that one a lot. That's really nice. And then it looks like he's going through the playing, like what rules will apply to the player, what would it be beneficial to them. So yeah, it looks good. And I love that they do the saddle stitch. I do. I think that it just, I don't know why, it just makes it more substantial, I think. And then we have the Wilderness Adventure booklet. I'm assuming there'll be a map in there for there. This is, what is this? The wilds of the Borderlands teem with dangerous animals and ravenous monsters. DM secret, this book is for the Dungeon Master's eyes only. So I guess this is the surrounding area of, there's the Keep of the, I don't know if you guys can see it so well, but Keep on the Borderlands there. And it's the surrounding area. Caves of Chaos is up in that location. That's pretty, it's a nice colorful map. It's all, I think it's busy though. I don't know. I don't mind it, but I think it's a little, I don't know. They've got some cloud covered or something going on there. They got Tamarack stand. Oh, that's, I can't remember if that was there before. There's a lake around here called that. So I would say little kid me would like the map because it's really cool. I'd sit here and look at it for like, an hour trying to, even though it's not that big a map, trying to find all the little stuff in there. But the adult me thinks it's a little bit too busy, and I'd like a more clear map. But that might be because I got aging eyes. So then it kind of goes into teach. Oh, this is, it teaches the GM. So that's because the starter kit is not only for starting players, but it's also for starting GMs. So it looks like they go through some very basic features of what's going on in this booklet. And what's nice about this, guys, it's not very long. It looks like they go through a few few encounters. I think what's this one? Like 12 pages. 15, so about 15 pages in that. Oh, let's get some random encounters back here. That's cool. More maps. I'm assuming these are going to be inside too. These maps I like a lot. Those are nice because they're clear and I don't have any problem discerning stuff from others. So, yeah. That's a cool one. Now we go into the next. Aha! Now we're getting into the keep itself of the adventure booklet. Good artwork on the front. Definitely like that. And as the old me likes it too, because it definitely is looking like what the old one is. Good artwork on the back too. I like that. There we go. Good map. It's very clear. Little me would definitely love the look of that. And again, I'd sit there and look at it for about an hour trying to find all the spots and something interesting, maybe not labeled. It goes through the keep location, so you have your basic population thing for the keep itself. Nice artwork for the banner for the keep. And oh, there's that thing that's on the side. What is that? A spunky barn goat. Okay. Now, even 10-year-old me would be like, I don't know if I like that. That's okay. It is not for me. I mean, I get that there's definitely more of a crowd that these days, but I think if adult me, if I was running something like that, I would want to keep something more interesting, more adventure oriented or character oriented. A spunky barn goat, I mean, that's fine for some of the stuff, but I'd rather see Billy Goat wrangling. I don't know, whoever's doing the Billy Goat wrangling or something. I don't know what's going on with it, but oh, cornflower. So it's definitely taking a tone that's a lighter tone in that. So, and it goes through each of the shops. This is nice. I was just noticing that. So each one has their own page. So the barn, one page. Private apartments, one page. That's smart. I like that. That's very, very smart. Smithy, one page. Provisions, one page. Good artwork. Good artwork. I like that. And so on and so forth. It keeps going like that. And this is really, really important. I mean, I think they've basically captured the essence of tangible things within the box. You know, especially for kids, having that tangibility to, you want to touch, you want to feel stuff and be able to mess with it and whatnot. And then, but also having that engagement with the artwork. So I'm reading about Trader Shop and I kind of have a small picture to, engage my mind's eye and go through there. And I think that's pretty good. I like that a lot. Travelers Inn. Yeah, I think they did a very good job. Let's see what this artwork's like. I think as a kid me, I wouldn't mind. I would be checking out all the different people, looking for the different stuff. Adult me is like, not a big fan of it. But kid me would definitely like it. Looking for all this stuff and seeing all the different characters, trying to figure out who's, is that guy looks like a pilot or a fighter? That guy's or person is maybe a mage, and try to find that's the kind of stuff I would do looking at it. Overall, though, I think that's pretty damn sharp looking. All right, and then this is the Caves of Chaos. Okay, first off, freaking awesome picture. Love that picture. Yeah. If I was a little kid and adult me, eats this up. Yeah. This is the kind of picture that turns me into a little kid, and I'm just like, ooh. Yeah, I like that. All right. And then we have, then it looks like it's going to use the same approach. We'll see. So here's another map. It's not bad. I don't mind it. Little kid me would love this map. Adult me, I still think it's a little muddy, but not too bad. I'm sure. I'm sure they put a map in here that's a bigger size, which then it would be very good. But when it's smaller, it's a little cluttered for me. But I remember the real map though too from Caves of Chaos, and it was kind of confusing because you had to pay attention to which caves went where, and I know there's been more than one time that I got confused. And Kobold layer. That's an interesting new mapping technique. I haven't seen that before. And they have the different layer. So we have the Kobold layer. Is this the whole Kobold layer then? Let's see here. It'd be great if it was. No, I don't think so. So this goes, yeah. So, so you go in the Kobold layer. Looks like you got, you're matching up with stuff. The only thing, I'll tell you what, the only thing that gives me the heebie-jeebies about this one is this map reminds me a lot of 4E. And I can't tell you how much I disliked 4E. It just was not what I liked. In fact, I thought it was horrible, but that's just my opinion. Makes me nervous about the way it's laid out. But it's nice, easy reference if someone was starting this game. Like I said, I'm sure they'll probably have a fold-out map that you can do that. Then you know where to put all the tokens. That's pretty cool. Helps kind of engage helps the new GM. And a good reference for little GM me that would love to run a game. I would get so excited being able to do this stuff. So, and then it goes through describe. Tell you what, the one thing though I always, especially with the new the new versions of the game with 5e, and I've seen it so much, is I wish, and it's this. I think the system does this on its own. The descriptions and everything, they're not concise. They just go on and on and on. And like I said, maybe not so much because of the writing, but part of it is because I have a whole stack of adventures behind me, and a lot of it's just, stop talking so we can start playing, GM, kind of thing. It's almost like box text for 2 pages or something. Nobody wants to listen for box text for 2 pages. But I mean, goes over the features here, and it gives the summary of how to read it, how this book is going to work, which is, I think, a very good idea. I like up here that it gives like a summary of what you're going to find in here. Player character tokens, 1 per player character, monster cards and monster tokens, tells you which ones that'll be needed in this. Terrain token, a pit, and 1 treasure, and then the magic item deck. So, and then it's describing some of the rules here, advantage and disadvantage, saving throws. So, yeah. So, I mean, it takes how many? All right. So, I guess it's not that bad. So, it's basically, because they're going through all the descriptions here, so I have to give them grace about taking like maybe a full page just to explain rules in the beginning. So it's about 3 full pages, maybe even more than that. Looks like all these are. Let's see. Then we get into the second part, the method layer, and again it goes through descriptions, interesting map, technique. Yeah, see, there we go. This one's a lot better. Maybe I just take back what I just said because it seems a little bit more concise. So basically we have, 8 adventure areas, and it's taking 3 pages. It looks like, or is it 3 pages or just 2 pages? Oh, it's only, beautiful. So this only takes 2 pages. So there we're back to the control panel kind of situation where everything that's on here is right here. And I think that's hugely beneficial to a starting GM and old crusty ass GMs like myself. And then we go into the Nothic layer. I don't remember what the Nothic layer was. Flying sword, carrion crawler, and one Nothic. What the hell's, I don't know what a Nothic is. I forgot what that is. I'm gonna have to look at that later. Anyways, I like the map. It's engaging. It's got the the tokens where they're supposed to be located, so it helps me out, figuring out where things are going to be at. And then we go to the goblin layer, and I think keep going with the hobgoblin layer. So it looks like they kept the control panel. Smart. I don't know who laid this out, but I mean they figured out a better way to represent their adventures. And all right, this is gonna sound. Oh, and then a little above view of a treasure chest. Yeah. I love that picture though. That picture right there. That's fucking nice. All right. One of the things, and here, I'll make this plea to Wizards of the Coast who are not listening. This is how you should do your future adventures. You should be making maybe little box sets. More people are going to be engaged by that than like these books. These books, like their entire campaigns. Wizards of the Coast, they don't work. I mean, we all know where you got this from. This is like a Pathfinder adventure path, but you just have it in a hardback book. They're okay for sometimes. Like I loved it when you guys did anthologies and you would put them in there. But in the future, okay, so this book, I can't remember. I know this is the alternate cover, so it's a little bit more. But these books on average cost $50. This costs $50. I would much rather have an adventure that doesn't last an entire campaign and had like all these cool little components that went with it than a hardback book that I'm probably never going to finish. I don't know. I think if Wizards of the Coast is going to be more successful, they have to change their strategy with their adventures, because I can't tell you how many times I've heard folks complain about how bad the adventures are. And I think why their adventures are poor as a whole, there's parts of all of them that have good stuff, but overall they're kind of too much to absorb a lot of times. And even the writers, you can tell, lost the plot through their writing a lot of times, and they were just trying to make a word count. I mean, I can recognize, I can smell that shit a mile away, and I definitely can smell in their adventures they're trying to make a word count to fill in that space, to look, because it's cheaper to have you write 1,000 more words than it is to try to get a half page of art to fill it up, unless of course they go back to AI art, but that's something different. And I guess here is some handouts. Now what I heard, okay, yeah, so I think it was, I can't remember who did it, but they were talking about this little handout. And this handout's at the end of the game. It's a thank you from the boss man to the adventurers for helping out. So it's the end of a game handout. Maybe somebody made the suggestion, maybe hand it to him in the beginning, like dear adventurers, please do this, and you'll get this much. Have something official writ, and that way, maybe when they're adventuring around town, they can, whip out their official writ and just show them, like, I need some equipment, so I need a good deal on this. The big boss man says I need to help out. We get some fake wrinkled pages here, and then this is the provisioner for sale. That's not bad. Helps out. Although Okay. Kid me wouldn't mind this. We'd be engaged in this. I would think it was fairly cool. Adult me doesn't like that they used a third of the page for freaking instruments. Um, yeah, if you come into one of my adventures with a lute or a flute or a drum, you're gonna assume body temperature, room temperature very quickly. Um, I don't know. Not a fan of that, but not mine there. And then we get the Drunken Dragon menu. And I think they could have used a little bit of a stronger. That's funny. Okay, I just saw this. So they ran out of Kate, so it's already crossed out. I like that. That's a nice touch. That's funny. I do like that. All right. Sacred Services. So healings 50 silver, revivals 2,000 gold pieces. All right. I think this is a mistake. I don't think revival should even be an option there. You got to let death be death. I know 5e or this is 6e or whatever it is these days, or every version of it. I don't know. They have to, because if you die and you can keep going back, then why bother keeping track of your freaking hit points? There's no danger then. There's no cost in the adventure if you know. I mean, I granted it's 2,000 gold pieces and they're not going to have it, but I mean they already have. If they still have them, they already have those freaking death saves and different options. So I am definitely not a fan with that. So I would just, if I was me, I would like that slice of cake right across there. It's like a cleric who had that died. And then we have the trader for different weapons and armor. Keeping it simple. I like that. 4 of each. Nice. And then we're getting into all the maps. Oh, these are good sized maps. So look at maps, guys. It's some full. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to. It'll probably be too big to fit in the frame. But let's just take a look at this. Unfold this. So there's maps on both sides. I like it, guys. That is cool. I would, yeah. Adult me and kid me would be very excited to see this thrown on the table. Because we didn't have maps when when we were playing it, when I was playing as a kid, there were no handout maps. There was no big maps like this. I think the only ones that had really big maps was Judges Guild back in the day. I remember the first time I saw the City State of the Invincible Overlord, and we got to see it on the table, this huge map. I mean, we're just like looking on. Well, I guess the Greyhawk maps, those were usually on walls. We didn't really put those on the table too much. But more dungeon maps, it looks like. I'm gonna try to get these out of here without damaging. Oh, so it's got like a little holder for it. Put that in there. These must be the cards that go with it. So that's the first level. That's the second level. Oh, they go up to third. So they have, okay, so they go up to third level and they must have, they go from, oh, I see, they go to subclasses. I should have started with this, guys. I don't know the rules of it. I mean, I've played 5e. I want to say for a substantial. I mean, I was in a couple 5e campaigns that lasted over a year, and it was fun for what it was. Would I ever GM it? No, but friend Rob wanted to run it, so yeah, I was game for it. So I guess at third level, that's when you start deciding which subdomain you're going to go down through. So everything's right here for you, which is good. I think that's an interesting way to do it. I like that they have a little like counter for your spell casting. Kind of gives you the description of everything. His armor class is 9. Yeah, you better get some britches on. Starting card, chainmail. I guess you figured out from there. And they keep the modifiers there. Yeah, so this looks good. Background. Oh, I see. And then you put your species card next to it, and then your background card next to it. Okay, that's not bad. That's that kind of goes along with the board game stuff. Make sure you put it on the outside. A fighter, he starts off at 11 AC, and he gets his chainmail. Starting, he gets a great sword, and then what? Champion or Eldritch Knight. Yay! There you go. Yeah, and 10-year-old me would definitely enjoy these things. Adult me likes it to a point. The only thing I don't like is I've never been a fan of fighters getting spell casting abilities. That was one of my least favorite things about 5e is everybody was a spellcaster. It's like, okay. Oh, and then we got some gold coins, punch out, monster tokens. These are cool. If I was a kid, I'd love these things. But I know what would happen if I was a little kid, because I always like keep my stuff in best condition as I could. Probably would keep these until I needed to. And then I would punch them out. And then from what I heard that there's there's some stands. So in the thing down, so we got monster tokens, gold tokens, and then we have some stands here. I think these tokens like this are nice, especially you can get a lot in there that kid can use and play with, and doesn't cost them any extra money, and it has a nice variety of stuff, which I think is very cool. We've got a little prisoner guy there, gelatinous cube, nice, and then we got some stands there. Oh, there's a big spider web. There's the old pit. I guess there's the player tokens. Kid me would be like, whatever. Adult me, I can't stand the artwork for the player tokens. The monster tokens look good. I think they look really good. Player tokens, they look like it's done by another artist, and it's just, I don't like it. I don't know how else to say it. I don't like them. I think these aren't adventures to me. These don't look like anything that would be adventurous. I would want something a little bit more substantial. It looks like, a bunch of kids are going to piss their pants on the first day of school. So, but that's just me. And then we got power tokens. I don't know what the power tokens are for. Hit points. 5 hit point tokens, and then gem tokens. Okay. And then we have, what do we got here, guys? Oh, shit, we're getting into the, keeps going down. I keep on finding this really cool to find stuff. All right, first thing I always like checking out, dice. All right, what I like about what they've been doing lately, especially for the starter sets, is they've been given, especially for 5th or 6th edition, they're giving you 2 D20s, which I don't know why any set these days isn't sold with 2 D20s. I see online. Actually, I was on a few dice sets this morning because that's what I do, and all the dice sets are your standard 7 dice sets. I mean, 5th edition, 6th edition is like the biggest one. Sell 2D. I mean, I would make sure I'd started selling dice like this with 2D20s and 4D6s. It doesn't make any sense. And get rid of the pointy D4. Is this one? Yeah, where's the D4 in this one? There it is. Get rid of the pyramid D4s. Get these things. These are infinity D4s. These are much easier. I can pick these up. I can't pick those up. I'm sitting there going like this. Looks like I'm milking a cow when I'm doing it or something. So I like that they do that. Just change the D4. These must be, boy, they give you a lot of these. Nice. Yeah. Oh, good. Storage things for your tokens, the things that you're punching out. That's nice. And these are, feel substantial too, which is good. And then you can put all your tokens in there. This is definitely board gamey. Like it though. I think this is a good addition. Both adult me and kid me would approve. And oh, look at all these cards. Now these are nice cards. The essential. I don't know if you guys remember the essentials kit that came out. Probably my favorite starter set that had ever come out, and they had some cards in it, but they're perforated cards. These are nice. These are actually real cards. I mean, I like the other ones for what they were and everything, but this is definitely a upgrade. I'm not gonna undo all these right now, guys, but it looks like they have different magic items and spells and all the different things in there. Let me see here. Andrella. See, I like Andrella's. What is she? She looks like. See, I like that artwork. There must have been two different artists, and just the style of the one artist I just don't like. I really, really don't like. You know what it reminds me of? I guess I am going to open this one up. Maybe. My old man hands can't open this shit up. Where the hell it is? This looks like they're wrapped like remember the old cigarettes back in the day? They might still have them like that, but I can't find that thing for it. Did we get it? I'll edit this part out maybe. I don't want to damage the cards. What the hell? Ooh, I got it. Boy, that's dainty. Good grief. So, I was talking about the artwork from the other cards that I don't like. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the old biblical cartoon pamphlet stuff. Not Chick Tracks, but hey, I am feeling my. Let me see if I can find out. There we go. Old biblical tracks that were like cartoon made that they would give out kids and everything. I think that's what maybe that's why I'm having such a repulsion to that type of artwork. Got a visceral reaction to it. There we go. I want to take a look at some of this artwork because I don't know why I find finding this artwork a lot nicer than the other one. These are nice cards too. I mean, a little bit more Stan Bartheo. Looks a little confused. That's okay. He's a human gate guard. You gotta have a guard that's kind of a bit goofy. Dwern. He looks like he's ready to. Got a big old tome. It's a little dark, but it's good. Now we're getting into the shiny happy people again. Elendra. It looks like she should be a cheerleader for some elven lacrosse team. Gala, she looks pretty angry. Callista. Malin. I don't know why everybody's so happy. They're about to go into a freaking. There you go. Lank looks like he knows what's really going on. He knows he's a jeweler. Well, probably because he doesn't want to get hustled, but this girl doesn't know she's going into a cave to get her ass killed. You know, you can tell that. Yeah, she doesn't know that. She hasn't figured that out. I don't know what we got going on here. No, I'm not liking a lot of this artwork either. No, not like it's, yeah. Do not like this artwork. See how the item artwork looks decent enough. I like that. That's a cool one. I like that one a lot. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. I don't know. Drum set. Then we got potions of healing. Shield. Yeah. No, all the rest of that looks good. Can't stand the character artwork though. Not a fan. Not a fan. All right, and then what's this? We got combat trackers. Oh, very nice. So, so each game you can use one of these, I guess, or combat. So you just fill out the initiative, combat, hit points, conditions. It's nice for the GM to keep track. That's a nice little addition to that. Is there anything under? Oh, there is. God, there's even more underneath there. Holy crap! And then we got. I don't know what this is. Let me put this down. And then we have. Oh, these are the monster cards. Oh, we got to open these up, guys. This will only take me about another half an hour. So go ahead and get a snack. Go to the bathroom. You know, maybe play a few hours of Fallout and come back. I should have them open by then. Oh, maybe I. No, do I? No. Come on, you bastard. Okay. Shouldn't put that back. Alright, let's open up these. Alright. My manual dexterity, this is decreasing there. Alright, let's see what they got here. Oh, so these are combat cards. So you give one of these to each player, and that way they know the order of combat. I like that. That's really good. Please tell me you have 4 and not 3. Yeah. Okay, so they have 4 of those. So one for each player you have. It's a nice tray too. I mean, it's mold plastic, but that's nice at the table. I think that's great to have that too. And then we get the animated flying sword. We'll just there's that copper dragon, and then all the stuff's on the back too. So let's look at the copper dragon wormling here. So it has information and all the actions that they can do, and a little bit of a description about them. And and it has a challenge rating up there in the upper right hand corner. So these are nice. I think these are very nice. Back in the day, they used to have monster cards. They had 4 sets of them. I had them for the longest time. I gave them to Rob. Ooh, I like that. No, see, these monster ones are so much better. These are so much better than the character ones. The character ones are just stupid and just a little repulsive. Jacko, even though Jacko is a bit repulsive, I still like it because it looks like he's got some sort of personality besides. I don't know. The other ones always remind me it's the first day of college or something like that. Ooh, the Minotaur of Baphomet. What kind of that is in this? Holy shit! What is this? And that's only a challenge level 3. That's a badass looking thing with a wicked name. Berserker of the Demon Lord of Beasts. Jeez. Oh, you know what? I think, yeah, that's right. Isn't he like the big bad in this, in the adventure? Been so long since I played it, guys. Owlbear. But they made the owlbear look, like fluffy. Anybody want to hug a owlbear? Oh. You know, a lot of people that play these days is going to want to try to make this a pet. You know they are. Because that's what they do. I ran a game for kids not too long ago, and I had this one girl, and all she wanted to do is everything she met, she wanted to make them into a pet. I let her make a baby purple worm into a pet, and she was so happy. She kind of walked around hugging it like it was a plushie or something like that. It was a little funny. Nice little. Oh, look at that! Look at that artwork. That skeleton artwork. That is fantastic. What's it called? Ossified Evil. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what ossified means. Don't know. I like that one though. That's pretty cool. Sprite Skirmisher. Steam Method. I forget. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different methods, isn't there? There's a Sturge. I love having Sturges in my adventures. And Vinx. Down on her luck, Dwarven Spelunker. Yeah, she looks like she's not down on her luck. It looks like she's ready to get eaten or something like that. A white life drinker. Life leeching corpse warrior. And then last but not that's a badass picture. I like that picture a lot. That's cool. Yeah. And that looks like that's everything, guys. So for $50, you do get a substantial amount of items. I mean, is it worth $50? Young me would say yes. I just wouldn't have $50. Adult me says I think it's worth it. If you don't play, I mean, if you're not into 6th edition, which I'm not, I don't see myself running it. I can't say I would never ever not run it, but I don't see anything in the foreseeable future just because of the system. What I might do though is take this and convert it into a system I like a little bit more and use what I could from it. Use the maps, use the tokens, use the accessories that I could. Boom, there we go. We're back on the box. So this is what they're offering. I think it's overall though it's a success. I mean, just my personal opinion about the loathsome artwork of the characters, but you got cool monsters in there. You got feasible magic items in there, and then the overall layout, the functionality of it. I think all of it they've done a very, very good job. And like I said before, Wizards of the Coast, if you're listening out there, this is what you need to do with your adventures. Don't do the dumbass hardbacks that that go from 1st level to 15th level. I'm gonna say they don't work. They're not fun. They get confusing for the GM. The players get tired of the slog. Do more approachable adventures with some cool content that goes around it. Put it in a box set because all us old dudes love our box sets. We're addicted to them. It doesn't even matter if we like the system. We're going to buy it because it's a box set. And it's the same price. I mean, I feel like I'm getting... Do I get this? It's a hardback book. Nice hardback book. Yeah, nice. Or do I get this? 10 out of 10 times I would buy this. If I had only $50 left, I'd buy adventures that were built like this than a hardback book like that. I think it's a smart way to do it. I mean, you don't have to be this huge or anything, but I think if you can, I don't know if this is a loss leader or not for Wizards of the Coast, $50 for this. But if it isn't, and they can make money off of developing adventures, keep the adventures concise. Keep the adventures, focused on maybe a level to 3 levels. Don't try to do a whole stupid ass campaign off the. And I might be wrong in that, but I don't think I am, because like I said, I have 20 some of 5e hardback book adventures, and I've read a lot of them. I can't say I've read them all the way through. I would be lying if I said that, but I've read quite a few of them, and I think you ask too much of your writers, and you ask too much of the people who are going to be playing it to just dig through all the slog of that. Where this is definitely a lot more approachable, and I think people. This is the kind of thing you go back to over and over again. How many people are going to replay like Avernus or that I Have Vecna? I Have Vecna. Nobody really liked anyways. I didn't hear very many positive things about it. I read through it. The reason why I liked the book itself was because it gave background to Vecna, but as an adventure, it was an adventure that promised a big climax, and it was just sort of like, wasn't much there, and it wasn't even that interesting getting to the adventures. It's like going to a shitty movie, but you just stay for the whole thing because you paid your money to go see it. You got more popcorn left, so That's it, guys. So, 10-year-old me would say, old me says, so yeah, if you're gonna do this, you're new to new to gaming. Get this. I think this is probably the best starter box set overall with everything. I mean, you can't go wrong that they start with with the keep on the Borderlands. I mean, you start with that, you've already got a. They're smart to kind of go back to the roots of the gaming and do that. They should have did this a long time ago. But that's everything, guys. Thanks for joining me, and hope to have some new videos. Don't forget to click like and subscribe and all those other good things below, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.